Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Enterwebs' HisssStory search. We're going to start off with this Linwood Presbyterian Church here. The history of the Linwood Presbyterian Church began with a congregation formed in 1890 and the construction of its first church in 1891, which was later destroyed by a fire. The site then saw a new church built in 1904, followed by its replacement with the current Gothic Revival Sanctuary in 1923. So, they're on their third church here. Is this what I'm hearing right now? Let's see. 1890, a Presbyterian congregation was formed in Kansas City. 1891, the first church building on the site was constructed. Fire. The original church was destroyed by a fire. 1904, a replacement church building was built on the same site. 1923, the large, monumental Gothic Revival Sanctuary, which remains today, was constructed by the architecture firm Greenbaum, Hardy, and Schumacher. Really? So, what happened between the replacement church that they built in 1904 and the large monumental Gothic Revival Sanctuary, which remains today, that was constructed in 1923? And if memory serves, excuse me, the date on the cornerstone, I think it was 1922. I could be wrong. I'll have to go back and look. It's really hard to tell, but it almost looks like a J922. Rehabilitation and new purpose. In 1995, the Heartland Presbytery purchased the deteriorating structure with the promise to restore it. In 2012, the church and former woman's home were added to the National Register of Historic Places. In 2016, a major $16.5 million renovation was completed, transforming the buildings into the Linwood Area Ministry Place. Excuse me. And the current use, lamp houses various nonprofit organizations, including the Heartland Presbytery, Front Porch Alliance, and Rediscover, continuing the site's legacy of community service by providing space for needed services and jobs. So I'm curious to know, of course I haven't seen the inside of this thing or what it looked like previously, but the outside looks pretty much original, other than the beautiful windows are gone, and obviously they tore down a large section of this thing. But where did this $16.5 million go here? That is crazy. We're going to take a quick look at this article from Kansas City's propaganda newspaper here. New life for old church yields hope for historic structures in Kansas City. And this was, we got a date here of 2015. It took more than 35 years, but Dodge's determination has transformed the Linwood Presbyterian Church building from an eyesore to an asset, serving people in Kansas City urban core. The sanctuary structure, built in 1923, is now a lively campus of nonprofit organizations. The $10 million 20-year effort resurrects the long-abandoned prominent structure at Linwood Boulevard and Bruce R. Watkins Drive. I was hoping they had some photos of the renovation or something of the sort in here. This may be a big nothing burger, but we're going to look at some. I'm going to try to find some older photographs of this thing. I found a couple postcards, but let me see what I can dig up real quick and we'll check it out. And they're basically giving us the same story that we just read. So we're going to start off with this postcard that I found. I'm going to try to navigate this website here, see if we can get a view in here. And this has, you can see the section that is now missing here. Just barely. But pretty much looking the same. And this has a stamp on it of 1926. And just for reference, this is what it looks like today. It's got the big missing space here. Here it looks like a shot of the inside. See some brick in here. Not what I wanted. Apparently this is it after renovation. Pretty plain Jane. Almost looks like a prison or school lunchroom in here. And I recall seeing the scaffolding up on the tower for the longest time. But I mean, I'm not really seeing a whole lot. And yeah, this window was boarded up forever as well. As the first thing we read about this, the windows were sold off pretty early in this. And as you can see in this shot as well here, all the windows were boarded up and doors. So I'm not sure what year this is, but obviously in modern times, and this is, what we have to do just to make repairs on this thing, let alone build this in the 1920s. The building next to it was pretty interesting as well. Obviously, they have connected the two, as I mentioned previously. You would have thought that, the section that they tore down and the stacks of bricks that we saw just sitting over there in the corner, maybe they didn't have enough, but you'd think they would try to at least use them to merge these two together. But I guess, not everybody thinks the same way that I do. So I didn't see this attached to the Kansas City Star article that we looked at previously, but this is definitely interesting. We've got a little photo gallery here. Architect Jim Scott inspects a gargoyle being renovated on Wednesday, March 18th, 2015, near the ceiling of the sanctuary of the former Linwood Presbyterian Church. The iconic structure, built in the 1920s but closed in 1979, is being reborn as an office space for a number of nonprofit organizations. Interesting little bit of caricature right there. It doesn't really look like a gargoyle to me, but seeing kind of a lion's head, angel wings, and some kind of serpent tail or something of the likes. Another image. Now, is that what we just looked at? No, I'm thinking this is a different one. Are these gargoyles, guys? I mean, these aren't really what I picture as a gargoyle, but I could be wrong. Oh yeah, they're all happy to take the money. This must be that little area that they added to extend one building to the other, is what I'm guessing. I'm not sure. The quality of these photographs are not great. This is an older article, but wow, look at that handrail. Workers carry supplies. Well, looky here. An old bell pictured on Wednesday, March 18th, 2015, will remain in the former Linwood Presbyterian Church. And then they keep going on, they can't come up with anything new to say here. They keep going on. Built in the 1920s. It's like they're beating this stuff into your brain. Anyways, I think this is gonna wrap up my little HisssStory search for the Linwood Presbyterian Church here. And I hope that you guys enjoyed. And I will see you on the next one.